Hi, everybody. Good to see you all again, and welcome to all the newbies. So I was looking this way, so I can't see out the back of my head. So who was here last time? Okay, cool. And how many new people? So yeah, it's 50-50. Okay, excellent. So as Pastor Curry said, this is 201. So last time, for the folks who weren't here last time, we really just gave an overview of first of all, why cryptocurrency? Why are we even talking about this in church? And I'm going to drill down on that a little bit to actually dovetail in some of the things you're saying about the end times and how I see crypto really fitting into this. And as Pastor Cray said, money is a tool. There was a guy called Peter Daniels, Australian philanthropist years ago. He said, money is the power to do good. And I love that definition of it. Money is the power to do good. And ministry, every pastor has more vision generally than they have resources. And, we can do more with more. So that's the whole point. This is not just to, make money for the sake of making money. That's not the spirit that drives us. So as long as you understand that. Second point is, when we talk about blockchain and crypto, it's not just Bitcoin, okay? It's not just Ethereum. It's an entire new paradigm shift that's taking place in society. And we're going to look at where sort of Web 1.0 came from, Web 2.0, Web 3.0, and how crypto is really empowering that. And you're going to see the companies in the future, the biggest companies in the world within 10 years' time will be crypto-based companies. There will be blockchain-based companies. How many have seen that Facebook is changing the name to Meta? For metaverse, and they announced, they've been trying to bring out their own cryptocurrency for a while because that is, the driving power. So, in any case, if you have questions, if stuff is not too clear because this is a 201 teaching, just please write it down, and we will look at those afterwards, and we can hopefully answer as many questions as you have. And if you've got notes, write down notes, and I have got a website with some links as well. So hopefully. This can be fun and everybody can learn something. All right. Big disclaimer before we start. I am not a financial advisor. Okay. Everybody say, John is not a financial advisor. This is not financial or investment advice. Good. All right. We got that. Okay. And it's on camera. So if you lose money or you make money, I don't want your attorney sending me a letter and saying, blah, 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 because disclaimer, okay. It's education, informational content. And as I always say, crypto is volatile. It goes up and down. And if you can't stomach a market that can literally drop 20%, if the stock market drops 25%, what happens? It's the end of the world. Crypto, that's just another day at the office. I mean, if it doesn't drop 20%, you wonder what's going on, So we like volatility because volatile investments give you the opportunity to buy low and sell high, which is generally a good thing to do. All right. DYOR, who knows what that means? Thank you. All right. Good. Excellent. So I've got some notes here to keep myself on track. This is not because I don't know what I'm talking about. It's to kind of add some rails because otherwise, we're going to be here for 12 hours and Pastor Curry is going to be kicking me out and never inviting me back, and I don't want that to happen. So, all right. Let me just ask very quickly here, how many people here trade cryptocurrencies? Actually, okay. All right. Cool. So not many. How many people here are involved in Defy? Decentralized finance. Okay, good. So just a couple of you. So we're going to the agenda tonight. We're going to look at a little update linking in crypto in the end times with some new material that I added. Then we're going to talk very brief overview. Trading cryptos, we could spend several sessions just getting into trading, trading strategies. So I'm not going to teach you how to trade. We don't have time to do that, and that's not what this is about. But I'm going to teach you how to choose. I'll give you some tips, not really tips, just how to choose the correct currencies or tokens, the correct tokens to purchase and to trade with, etc. Then we're going to look at a couple of scams and areas that are not quite legitimate. And then we're going to look at Defy. And then we're going to have a Ask Me Anything and look at some resources. Okay. All right. So we're all good. I just want to start with Deuteronomy 8:18. And Pastor Corey did mention this, that, it's the Lord that gives us the power or the ability to get wealth. Never forget that He's given us, we have the Holy Spirit inside of us. The Holy Spirit knows more about anything than all of us put together, okay? And He is our teacher, our guide, our counselor, comforter. And the Holy Spirit will quicken things to you. So what we're going to do tonight is give you some keys, give you some information, and let the Holy Spirit take that and, quicken it to you. The other thing we have to do, is as wise stewards, not only of our finances, but of our resources, of our mind and our time, we need to study. We need to study. And I would encourage you all to make a commitment to increase your financial literacy every day. If you're in business and you're a believer in business, you should be learning about finances and money every day. There's so much we can learn. So we can, if you're expecting the Lord, as Pastor Crow said, the Lord's not dropping bags of dollar bills from heaven, The Lord's not a counterfeit. He doesn't do that. But if He wants to give you real estate and you don't know anything about real estate, you're going to lose it, okay? You're not going to make any money. And if you want to be involved with crypto and you see this as the future, you need to learn about it. So, sorry if I'm, telling you how to suck eggs here, but, I just want to encourage you to take this seriously, because the Lord does give us the ability, and we have that ability, and we can do it. So if anything here sounds complex, you've got it, okay? All right. I want to just focus on here, in terms of crypto and the end times, on who was here on Sunday? Who was here on Sunday? Okay, so do you remember Pastor Corey, you were on Sunday. Do you remember Pastor Corey showed that video with Prince Charles talking about at the COP meeting in Scotland there? And, we are really close to we're in the end of the end times. The end times started at the day of Pentecost, but we're at the end now. So one of the things we've seen take place very rapidly is the Antichrist system starting to arise. And remember last time I spoke about China, where they've got CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, which can control and take away all your privacy. And they banned cryptocurrency there, and how the Fed and many other banks are looking, or central banks around the world are looking at producing central bank digital currencies. Well, there's a bank called the Bank of International Settlements. Who's heard of that? The bank is BIS, and they are the bank to the central banks. Okay, it started in the 1930s in Switzerland, and the Bank of International Settlements. There's a guy that I follow, and he wrote a report recently called Behind Enemy Lines. And you'll see why I'm going to talk about this, because it's really interesting. He basically dug into all of the Bank of International Settlements recent review reports that they put out to the public, including their annual report. And the things that they're talking about literally are the building blocks for the mark of the beast system that will be put in place. Some of the things that they are suggesting is a global digital identity system. Global digital identity system. So just like the one in China, where they have CCTV, and 99% of the people, wherever you go, you're tracked and identified, etc. They're talking about having a global system, obviously linked to some chip. They're talking about central bank digital currency accounts tied to your identity as a global system. They're talking about a cash society. Obviously, when you go to a CBDC, it's you're going to get rid of cash. They want embedded surveillance in crypto. Yeah. How wonderful is that? The Bank of England, when they were talking about their CBDC, they asked the developers, well, can we build in the ability to actually stop people from spending money on stuff we don't want to spend it on? I mean, can you imagine Big Brother saying, well, I'm sorry, you can't go and buy that, gas because, you've driven too much, you don't have enough credits. Or, your social credit score is so bad because you actually go to church that, we're not going to allow you to actually buy gas, and you can't get on airlines and stuff. So that's where they're going, total control. But these things, they're talking about it now. So we're very, very close, guys, to the end times. And by the way, the cornerstone of their economic recovery is vaccine rollouts, obviously worldwide. This is a diagram that this comes from the Bank of International Settlements annual report. And they are looking at there, as you can see, mutually recognized ID schemas from every country around the world. So global identity, a single rule book of governance and arrangements, basically smart contracts on how you can spend your money, a single infrastructure and ledger, so in other words, linked to some kind of chip system, and then all of these CBDCs linked together. So if you look at where things are going, I believe in 2022 we're going to see, and going forward, China is saying no crypto. We're going to have the central bank money. We're going to see Europe start to push and more tax against crypto because, as I said last time, the beast system didn't see crypto coming. It's kind of ruined their plans. This has allowed people to have a parallel system of buying and selling that they can't control because it's a decentralized system. CBDCs, this is a centralized system they're trying to put into place. And in the US, I think there's going to be, we've got enough, there's been some, just the last couple of weeks, there were discussions in Congress. Obviously, the infrastructure bill that hasn't been passed, they want to put a lot of taxing of and legislation to regulate crypto in there, but it looks like that's not going to get passed. But either way, around the world, you're going to have these parallel financial systems. The centralized system that is evil this is the spirit of Antichrist working right in front of us. I mean, the devil always tells you what he's going to do. And we're going to have the private, permissionless, decentralized crypto industry. So that's why it's important that we understand this stuff from a biblical point of view. From a pure economic, why does this matter to me point of view, this is the next big thing. Okay, so there's this is a quote, software is eating the world. It comes from Mark Anderson. He developed the Netscape browser years ago. And it's true, software has transformed every single industry. Tesla is Uber, they're actually software companies. Amazon, it's a software company, it's the software platforms. So we've really had three iterations over the last 20, 30 years. Web 1.0, when the web came out, those were essentially walled gardens where you got content, it wasn't interactive. Do you remember the first dial-up? AOLs, wait for 10 minutes for this thing. I was in South Africa, and it was a long time in a dial-up to, download this page, and we can read it. But, when it first came out, we thought, what are we going to use this for? It wasn't. But then it started to grow and got very useful. Then we got Web 2.0, which was interactive, and that's where we are now, socialized. And we've got all of the companies that are around, the tech companies. I'm dating myself, but I was saying to, where's Leslie? Sure. Oh, did she run away? Oh, hey, Leslie. So I was telling Leslie earlier, I was around when the IBM PC came out, and I sold IBM PCs, and then we saw software come out, and the networking come out, and then the internet. I was actually in Las Vegas when Bill Gates first introduced Windows, and watched him come on, and I thought it was really cool. But when each one of these technologies has come out, two things have happened. Number one, we've underestimated the impact that they would have, and the people who have got in early have made the most money. Okay, so those have worked, that's constant, whether it was PCs, whether it was software, whether it was networking, whether it was, Windows and graphical user interfaces, whether it was Web 1, Web 2, or now we're moving to Web 3. So blockchain is Web 3.0. And this is my very pathetic little attempt to say, it's sort of going up on a curve. And we're here, we're literally stage one. We are at the dial-up phase of the blockchain industry. Does that make sense? So we've got a long way to go. If the Lord tarries, within the next number of years, all of the companies that were in, I remember I worked for Lotus. Do you remember Lotus 123? Okay, so I worked for Lotus. and Lotus Software became IBM. And Lotus was the biggest software company around. We were bigger than Microsoft. And I turned down a job at Microsoft because I thought Lotus was bigger. And never mind. But those companies, when the Web 2 companies came out, when Facebook and Google and Amazon came out, they were like little companies, but then they overtook, and they're the biggest, the FANGs now. Well, Web 3, the companies that are coming out now that are building the infrastructure will be the biggest companies going forward. They will surpass the Web 2 companies. And the big difference between centralized and decentralized and permissionless is quite simple. So, Facebook, you have to have an account. You have to have permission to access the system. If they don't like you, as President Trump knows, they censor you. They cut you out. They own your data. They decide what goes on there. Web 3.0, blockchain-based companies are permissionless. Nobody gives you permission to get onto a blockchain Web3 company. If you've got to sign up and join a club or sign up and join a membership, then it's actually, yes, you do have to, with Coinbase and centralized exchanges, go on there and have an account. But the decentralized exchanges and a lot of the newer open systems, anybody can join. So somebody can be sitting in Patagonia or in Istanbul or Johannesburg or Jakarta or anywhere, and they can literally log on and join and buy and sell and do whatever they want. So that is the power of a decentralized, permissionless system, and those companies are going to take over, and that's literally where the economy is going. So I hope that was really just like an introduction, a primer, so you can understand why this is important and how we are literally at the beginning. And do you remember when the 1999, 2000, we had like the big, software crash, etc. And a lot of those early 1.0 companies, some of them didn't make it, but others did, It'll be exactly the same today. Some of the companies that are around now will be the winners. Others that we think will be winners. Do you remember Netscape, as we spoke earlier? Mark Anderson, Netscape. Who uses Netscape browser today? Who's even heard of Netscape browser? The young guys are going, the what? Okay. So those companies didn't make it, okay? So it'll be exactly the same. So just because we think, if you look at CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, those are websites you want to write down, coingecko.com or coinmarketcap.com. I'm going to refer to them many times. CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko show you the largest crypto companies by market capitalization. And that shows you basically who the big companies are. Tokens are ranked not according to revenue, but to market capitalization. Okay, so how much value is locked in their chains, etc. And some of those ones that are leading, obviously Bitcoin is the largest at the moment, and Ethereum's number 2. And then we have some others moving up there very rapidly. Those companies, not all of them will be around in 10 years, but some of them will be the giants and winners. Okay, is this all making sense? Right. Before I go off track here, so let's look at crypto trading. Slide number 8, John. Stick to the program. All right. So a couple of things. If you can trade equities, you can trade crypto, but there are different measurements. You can use all the same tools, but there are slightly different ways to choose which are going to be the winners in the crypto world, no matter look at it. The first thing I just want to mention is a question somebody emailed me last time is, well, can I just go to my E-Trade account and buy a mutual fund that invests in crypto? And the answer is no, because cryptos, tokens or digital assets that sit on a blockchain are not shares in a company. They are, think of them like the toll road fees for a particular toll road or an ownership in that particular blockchain. So you can't actually go and buy a Bitcoin share on the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ. It's not listed there. What you can do, however, is you can buy, if you're interested, you can buy and invest in companies, for instance, Coinbase, the largest centralized crypto exchange, I think, in the world. I don't know if they've overtaken Binance, but certainly the largest in the US, and they work in multiple countries. And they will own, they're kind of like buying, E-Trade, in the early days. So Coinbase, which makes its money not out of the price of the crypto, but out of the fees that it charges. You can buy them, their listed company. Then there are companies like Wright Blockchain, who, and by disclosure, I own both of these stocks. Wright Blockchain is the largest Bitcoin miner in the US, and their cost of production is about $10,000 for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin at the moment is what, 50,000. It's been up and down. So as long as the tokens stay above, they're producing them at the cost of 10,000. So they're very profitable, and they own their own electricity grid. So, and their cost of electricity is I think it's now like 2 cents per kilowatt or something. So it's like really, really low. So that's Wright Blockchain. So you can buy individual shares. You can't buy cryptos. You can buy shares that are exposed to the crypto market. You can't buy individual mutual funds that hold crypto. You've got to go and buy the tokens. But again, you can buy mutual funds that are exposed and that invest in the blockchain miners and in the actual exchanges, etc., and companies that sell, like NVIDIA, which sell the actual machines or the chips that are running some of the machines. There are no ETFs that are actual, and again, the SEC has been blocking actual spot ETFs for crypto. They have allowed futures ETFs, but there are ETFs in Canada, etc. So that's as far as crypto on Wall Street is concerned. But if you want to buy, and if you a mutual fund that's exposed to the industry, like selling shovels to the early gold miners, etc., or Levi Strauss, selling jeans to the early gold rush gold miners, etc., those companies will be huge as well. Just go and search on DuckDuckGo, which is a search engine, by the way, that I like. Then you'll find mutual funds, crypto mutual funds. All right. So crypto trading 101. First thing I just want to talk about is time frames. How many people who trade, are there any day traders here? My husband is. Okay. So you can make money in in crypto or stocks, or both? In crypto. In crypto, okay. So you can make money in crypto day trading if you know what you're doing, okay? You can also lose money in crypto day trading if you don't know what you're doing, or if you're just unlucky. So for most people, if you look at the statistics and the numbers, and I'm just reporting from a whole bunch of reports here, the longer time period, basically swing trading or buying something that has a project that has got potential and holding it for a longer period of time, and then selling it where it reaches a certain limit, that normally gives you a better return than day trading. Generally, I'm talking in general. There's a guy who went and bought a project he started about 5 years ago. He went out and bought the top 10 by capitalization crypto shares, put $100 into each on the first of the year. And he's done that now for 4 or 5 years. So I think he's put $4,000 into his cryptos. His portfolio now is worth over, I can't remember the exact amount when I lost it, but it's over $50,000. Okay, so it's gone for in about 4 years' time. And the reason he's done that, the 1 year, he was negative. If he'd sold then, he would have lost his money. Next year, he returned about 1%, You think, well, what have I gone and done? But then, of course, last year, and in 2000, the cryptos that he put money into really took off. So the longer time period, you can do better. So it's generally, I guess it's like stocks. If you know what you're doing, and you might decide you want to be a day trader, or more part here, it's great. Volatility is certainly a lot of it here, and that's where you can make money. But unless you've got a crystal ball, for the most people, you want to hodl, you want to hold. hold on for dear life, hodl, okay? That's a crypto term. So the hodlers actually make as much money as the, as anybody. In fact, they make more money than anybody. The other thing I would say is I would really encourage you to go out and join an interest group or study and learn, increase your financial IQ every day. Twitter is a great place to learn and follow influencers. There's a lot of really good influencers. How many people here follow influencers, financial influencers or crypto influencers on Twitter? Okay, so just a couple of names. People I like, Jack Niewald, Niewold. I have no idea how an American would pronounce it. Niewald. Sounds Dutch. Jack Niewald. Have a look, check him out on crypto. Jack, last name Niewold. He tracks altcoins, alternative coins, and he's really good. You pick up a lot of information from him. Ryan, R-Y-A-N, Selkis, S-E-L-K-I-S, Ryan Selkis. I think his name is 2-bit idiot, but he's not an idiot. He's a really smart guy. But Ryan Selkis. And another guy I like is Matty, M-A-T-I, Greenspan. Just like the other Greenspan, but this is Matty with one M-A-T-I. So those are three guys that I follow on Twitter. They all are incredibly smart guys. They've got so much wisdom and insight, and they just it's a great resource to Facebook generally I find is kind of useless for crypto stuff, but and financial stuff, but Twitter's really good. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about price, and anybody who's traded equities can explain this to you. Price does not equal value. Okay, when you look at crypto, price does not equal value. So don't think, well, Ethereum is $4,500, but Phantom is $2.50. So Phantom is Ethereum is like so much more valuable, and is going to do so much better because it's a more expensive token. Or Hero, which is another one that I kind of like, it's 25 cents. That's not how you compare tokens. You don't compare tokens on price. You look at the market capitalization, and you look at how many tokens there are, and then you divide it, and you can also look at the basically the market capitalization just gives you the whole the pie, and tells you what a little slice is worth when you buy a token. I want to talk a little bit about asset allocation because this is a really, really important one. There's about 12,000 tokens at the moment, and more are coming on the way. We're going to see a lot of community tokens. We're going to see a lot more meme tokens. We're going to see more NFT tokens, not NFTs, NFT tokens. There was an airdrop of one on Christmas Eve. Did anybody get the SOS tokens? Okay, right. If you've been buying on, I didn't get any, but I bought some of the token. But it was essentially it's an NFT token. The first one, it will be a new group. So one of the things that we're going to see in 2020 is I believe is going to be a decoupling in the crypto industry. So at the moment, people look at Bitcoin, they look at Ethereum, and they look at Solana, and they say, this is like, it's not all the same. And last time, do you remember I spoke about, if you were here, there's storage tokens, and there's sort of infrastructure tokens, and there's the actual layer 1 tokens, the people who own the blockchains, then there's all the dApps on top of that, and then there's DeFi tokens. So just as in the stock market, you see some sectors do well, tourism may be doing well when airlines are doing well, but commodities are not doing well, and then so as different sectors, we don't look at stocks and see them all as one big, group. It's the same with crypto. As the market matures, you're going to see different sectors will start to take off and do better than others. So up until now, a lot of the sort of the main infrastructure tokens have done well. And Bitcoin is obviously out on its own network or its own blockchain, and then Ethereum is on its own blockchain. But we've seen Avalanche, and we've seen Terra Luna, and we've seen Solano, and these are other, and Phantom, which I like, by the way. I think he's one of the great tokens as FTM that's going to do really well next year, and he's doing well. They're what's known as layer 1 infrastructure tokens. But if you want to know if a token is worthwhile investing in, you want to look at the ecosystem around that token. And when I mean the ecosystem, it's like, do you remember, did anybody were into Apple really, really, really early, Apple computers, okay? And you only had when they started, if you were in Microsoft, you had this whole ecosystem of applications that had been developed on top. You could do anything because Microsoft did a good job of building a developer ecosystem. But Apple, was kind of slow. You only had graphics apps. If you want to do a spreadsheet on Apple, well, it just wasn't there. And obviously, it's changed now. But it's like that with cryptos. You get Ethereum built this whole ecosystem of tokens. They're called ERC20 tokens on top of Ethereum. That's why Ethereum is the number 2 token. It's valuable because they all sit on top of it. Now, it's exactly the same with the other infrastructure tokens. So if somebody says, I've got this great new token, somebody's building this blockchain, it's going to be wonderful. The first thing you do, you go to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, and you read is it on there? If you can't find it there, no, it doesn't exist, okay? Then on there, it'll have a link to their website. Go to the website. There should be a white paper. Read the white paper. If the white paper doesn't exist or it sounds blah, 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 then it's probably a scammy token. Then have a look at the team. There's a lot of people who create scams and they put up a phantom team. Find the people. Look at the link. You've got to dig down. Find their link to I went to a token that somebody told me about today. I took the developers and I went to LinkedIn and I put them on there. These people don't exist. Okay? They're a ghost team. It's a scam. So you only want to invest in real projects that have got a big ecosystem built around them, that have got a real team, that have got momentum, and generally, this is a generalization, the top 300 tokens are the ones that are going to be successful. Okay, and this is real, and people say, well, John, how can you say that? This new token's coming out. I get all the time, friends will send me, oh, check out this new token, it's coming out, and you want to get involved in, it's going to do an IDO, what's his name? You want a new version of an ICO, and you want to buy it because it's cheap now, it's only, a fraction of a cent, etc. And, you read it, you say, well, how do you know it's going to take off? I mean, 90% of the tokens that come on the market will go to zero. 90% of them. In fact, they did a survey, and of all the tokens that are still around, and they saw that 60% of them never went above their listing price. 60% of them just lost value. So there's a term in the industry for those tokens which I won't repeat in church, but they're crap tokens, okay? It's not that, it's another term. 40% of them will reach their listing price, but only the top few percent will make any sense. So the problems we have is if you list a company and, the SEC, won't allow you can't just go and list your company on NASDAQ. It's expensive. If you want to do an IPO, you've got to be successful. And even then, it's no guarantee the company's ever even going to take off, okay? A lot of companies will list and they just flat line. They never really go anywhere. But it's even worse with crypto tokens. So just because it's a new token or it sounds great or it's got a flashy white paper or there's some bozo or there's some guru, I should say, on YouTube talking about it, doesn't mean it's a great token. So asset allocation is absolutely everything. And I'm just trying to help, save you money here, that you don't go. You will probably, and this, I know this is not faith, Pastor, excuse me, but you probably will lose some money with tokens, okay? It's consider learning, okay? Hopefully you're going to be smart, Holy Spirit's going to tell you, red light, don't buy this one. But if you do buy a wrong one, it's considered learning fees. But you have to invest and get to know. But I want you to learn and understand that asset allocation is really good. Timing's really good. The timing is also important. Just because a token is a good token, buying a good token at the wrong time is as bad as buying a bad token, okay? Just because, so if I buy, who wants to buy Bitcoin at its all-time high? And just a comment here. You know, I know a lot of people who have made a lot of money in both technology stocks and in crypto. Some of the people just got lucky. Okay, doesn't mean they're smart. They just got lucky. I know people who were in Bitcoin like really early, and they made millions of dollars. And you know, I got one friend, $28 million. The guy's not smart. He just got lucky. Okay, he just got into them in the right time. Okay, so you know, why didn't I do that? Well, you know, I knew about Bitcoin early. All right, so, but to go out and buy it now. Does that mean it's going to go up again? Are we going to see another, 10,000% growth? Probably not. But the leading tokens, the top 100, 200, 300, you're probably safer there than you are with number 5,063. Okay? Is this making sense? Okay. The other thing is know why you are buying a token. What does it do? That's the ecosystem. This is the Phantom token that I mentioned, okay? Phantom, okay? I'm not selling it. I don't have any funny, I like Phantom, okay? Just a cool T-shirt. So this is the Phantom ecosystem. So Phantom is a base layer one. On top of it, there's all these DeFi companies, trillions of dollars, not trillions, actually I don't know, no, not trillions, billions of dollars tied up in this ecosystem with NFT, gaming tokens, wallets, exchanges. This, by the way, if you're looking, you see at the bottom there, Coin98 Analytics. Follow them on Twitter, and they will have analytics and ecosystems for each token you want to look at. So this is an indication that the ecosystem, this token will be successful because there are thousands of people, developers, and billions of dollars flowing into and using the infrastructure that the Phantom Foundation built. So that's a good indication that I want to buy and invest in it, or could possibly buy and invest in a project like this. Let me just see. This is another tool I just want to give you, the Fear and Greed Index. DuckDuckGo, search engine, because we don't use Google. Another whole discussion. Type in crypto market Fear and Greed Index. When's most money made in the stock market? When people are scared. You know, they used to say, you make money when there's blood on the streets, okay? You buy when it's low. Okay? You don't want to buy when it's high, when everyone's, yeah, we'll make you money. That's not the time to be buying. You want to buy when people are in fear and they're selling. The market was going to come to an end. We don't have a spirit of fear, but pile of and a sound mind, we certainly do not have a spirit of fear when it comes to, if you know that you're buying a good token, you have a list of them and you wait for them to crash, okay? And that's when you buy them, so you have some money back. And when the fear index is over, that's a good time to actually be investing because other people are selling. People are sheeple. And, they just follow and they panic. And some people sell for different reasons. Now's a good time. So when the market does that 25%, 30% dip, if it's a good token, a good project, it's got a big ecosystem, and you've read the white paper, and there's, VCs or good people following it and talking about it. Not, some guy who looks like he needs a bath on YouTube, talking about it. But somebody who's serious. This is serious stuff, guys. We're talking about money here. You can actually make some good money by buying. But don't go in there when the greed index is right over the side and everything's at an all-time high. That's when we hold back. Unless you've got there's often a time to not buy. Okay. All right. We're going to talk about scams. So people often ask me, well, what tokens do you like for the long term? So I've got a few here. just going to mention them to you, and I hold some of them. I don't mention all of them, but in case you're interested, I think Ethereum is going to go higher. Ethereum's a layer 1. It's the biggest smart contract. Its ecosystem is ginormous, okay? And when Ethereum 2.0 comes out next year, it's deflationary now. They're actually burning as opposed to, all the fees. I have a friend who's a Ethereum miner, and he's very upset because he doesn't get his fees anymore because Ethereum are burning them. But you know what? It's a long term. It's the leading layer 1 smart contract platform. Solano, SOL. A lot of money went in Solano. The young guy from FTX, he's behind that. Phantom, obviously, FTM. Rose, I like Rose a lot. It's a privacy chain. A lot of VCs put a lot of money. I think it's like number 103 at the moment. I think it's going to go up. Atom, which is Cosmos. It's a cross-platform. From a technology point of view, we're seeing, instead of all these individual, imagine you've got freeways that are all independent and they can't connect with one another. Well, that's what, Bitcoin and Ethereum, Solana and Terra, etc. We need bridges between them to move assets and tokens between them. So multi-chain is the way of the future, and we will have a multi-chain. And Atom, which is Cosmos, is one of the big multi-chain, they're already multi-chain projects. Okay, I like the NEAR protocol. NEAR is a great token. A lot of money gone into that. A lot of money. Dot, which is Polkadot. Gavin Woods, he was one of the original founders, one of the original techies from Ethereum, went off, set this up. Multi-chain project, really good. Arweave, anybody know what Arweave is? AR token. I'll give you just the token, AR. And Arweave is essentially a storage token. Amazon make gazillions of dollars out of AWS, out their storage, okay? So Arweave is storage, permanent storage for the Solana blockchain. It's just going to grow and grow and grow. A couple of guys in England started it. Terra Luna, although it's probably too high to buy now. I'm not saying go out and buy all these, please, okay? This is not financial advice. I'm just saying these are good ones to put on your wish list. If it goes down, you think it's a good one, these are ones that, maybe you want to consider. Curve, CRV, Curve Finance, Curve DAO. Matic, which is Polygon. It's a leading layer 2 solution on Ethereum. It was called Matic. They changed the name to Polygon. And really, it's huge. It's going to go bigger. AVAX, Avalanche. So those are some that I like, and they're all good, solid projects that have legs. They will last. Okay. All right. Just a quick couple of mistakes before we go into scams. How are we doing for time? Are we all still good? All right. Don't FOMO a crypto. Okay. Another opportunity will come along. Don't chase it. Don't think I've got to get this crypto because everyone else is buying it. Elon Musk is talking about it, and this one and that one, and my friend, and I've got to get. No, just calm down, because they will come down. Okay, you don't chase. If it goes too high, yes, it could go high. You may miss opportunity, but there's another opportunity. Remember, where are we? We are in the early stage. There's lots of companies that haven't even started yet that will create tokens. You will have opportunities to get into them. Okay. And as you learn about this more and more, and you follow good people, and you read, and and you pray, and the Holy Spirit brings stuff to your mind, etc., you'll be able to buy at the right price good projects. Okay. All right. I want to talk a little bit about scams, and just a word here. There are projects that people get into, and they don't know that they're probably not legitimate, okay? Doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means sometimes you may be fooled. And maybe some people won't agree with me. They may swear that it's a great project because they're making money out of it. Just because you make money out of something doesn't mean it's always good, okay? How many know that drug dealers make money, okay? And pimps make money, okay? And, white-collar criminals make money. And ransomware guys make money. Money does not equal success or good, okay? Remember, we have a spirit of excellence, and we don't want to rip anybody off. We want to do stuff, decently and in order, and we never want to we're believers, okay? So, and we believe, we got to walk in love with people. So when I say this, I'm just trying to help you, okay? So I've been asked about several different projects. Are these scams? What do you think of this, etc.? This is what I believe of them. So the first thing, just as Pastor Curry said, unfortunately, as Christians, we tend to be, and take this in love, gullible. Okay? Because Christians tend to believe the best of people. We think that everybody, is a sheep, in the good sense of the word, not a sheeple. Okay? But unfortunately, we do sometimes get fooled. So what I do is the first thing you do, if somebody tells you that there is this great token that's earning a great return, go to those two websites I mentioned to you, CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, and search for the token. Yes. CoinGecko, like the lizard. I will put them on my website. Okay, all right. Sorry, it's the accent, from Alabama. So check on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, and if you can find the token, if it's not there, then there's a good chance that it's not a real project. I got scammed in the early days. I sent an Ethereum coin to some scammer, probably from Russia. Okay. Sorry, Russians, I got Russian friends. Who basically set up the site, and I thought I was buying the Telegram ICO at the time, and of course, I never got anything less. Like, hey, give me. I could see it on the scan. I could see this money was gone. Okay, so everybody gets scammed. Well, only if you make mistakes like me. Okay. But check there. So you want to check for it. Even if a token appears on CoinMarketCap, it'll show you the ranking. This is ranked. NA means it doesn't have a ranking. It's just somebody's listed it. Okay. There's 10, 11,000 tokens there. If there's no ranking, it's pretty bad. Okay. So you need to have a ranking if you've got a token. I have a software startup, and we'll be launching a token. It's a serious token. It's a serious company. Okay, and we will have it on CoinMarketCap. We'll be listed there with the white papers, with the links, the profiles of the investors, and the profiles of the team, etc. One of the things you can look for is which exchanges carry that. So there was one I looked at today, and it was only on PancakeSwap. Does anybody know what PancakeSwap is? Okay, it's actually called a decentralized exchange. Decentralized means anybody can just go to it and exchange it. But it was only one. There's 800 exchanges. If any token is worth its salt, it'll be on multiple exchanges, not just one obscure. Well, PancakeSwap's not that obscure, but it's a decentralized. In other words, it's easy to get listed there. So that's, again, another indication that maybe this is not, hasn't got a lot of institutional support from because the exchanges now won't put wonky tokens on their exchanges because they're worried about legislation. The largest decentralized, where you could just connect and buy and sell and exchange tokens, exchange, Uniswap, they have started to delisting tokens because the SEC came after them and said, hey, you want to work in America, or do you want to go to jail? So yes, sir. So there's more regulation coming out. So a lot of the exchanges now are careful about what they list. So if there's no token exchange support, your token's probably a little bit spammy or scammy. You also want to look for reviews online, and not just some YouTubers. There's some good ones, but there's some total trash out there. I've seen people talking about some projects, and it's only because they invested in it. They think it's a good idea, and they're trying to get other people on there. You want to read the white papers. If there's no white paper, I'm very dubious. So the first thing I always say to somebody is, what's your token? What's the white paper? I want to see the white paper. The white paper is essentially the token economics. It talks about what does this project do? What does this do? It's like the brochure, but it's an in-depth brochure. That will explain everything, the roadmap, the technology, where this thing is now, where it's going to be in the future, what's the functionality of this token? It's easy to create a token. Any monkey can create a token and just list it, okay? We can go out and create, a River West Palm Beach token tonight and have it up. But what's it going to do? It's got to actually have some utility, some value. It's got to do something, or else it's another crappy token, and Pastor Corey would, kick me out of the church. So we're not going to do that. But now I'm saying, so just because somebody created a token doesn't mean it's actually legitimate. Okay. If there's no ecosystem, like I showed with Phantom, that's a huge red flag. And I'm going to mention a couple of projects. They got no ecosystem. It's just to make money. That's not and they're probably Ponzi schemes. Okay. Check out the founders on LinkedIn. This is, pick up the person's name, put it in LinkedIn. Do they come up? Are they real? If you look at me on LinkedIn, I'm John Bay on LinkedIn, okay? You can see what I've done. I've got a history of 30 years working in tech companies. You can see, who I worked for, what I did. If there's no founders on there, and all these projects, all the leaders, they're on there, okay? Crypto, the last point I want to make on scams is that crypto is permissionless, as I've said. So anybody can join a crypto and invest. So the person can be sitting in Mongolia or anywhere, okay? So if you've got to join a club or an investment scheme to get the token, that's a red flag in crypto. Okay, if anyone says, I want to buy Bitcoin, we'll go and buy it. If the government says in China you can't buy it, well, people use a VPN and go behind it and they buy it because they can simply go to a decentralized exchange. They can buy it, they can trade it, and they own it. They can download it on a little drive, and they've got it to own it. But if I have to go and join your club and I get membership, so it's like an MLM, that's incongruent with crypto. It doesn't. The fact that your product is a crypto doesn't mean that it's real, okay? Or it may be a real product, but it's kind of dubious. Okay, that's really, these are red flags. So these are some of the scams, unrealistic claims. You're going to make so many 100%. If anybody tells you, I can guarantee you're going to make so much percent a day, a week, a month, etc., that's not real, okay? Because markets go up and the markets go down. Nobody can guarantee you something. And we're going to look at Defy in a moment, and Defy pay a percentage. But again, there's a reason that they pay percentage, because you're getting actual fees. But if they can't explain, because there's no white paper, why you're getting 100% or 200% or 300% or 400%, it's a Ponzi scheme, okay? Well, they're doing something. And I have friends that have cloud mining services, but there was one stage where a lot of people cloud mining, don't have your own hardware, go and invest in our cloud mining service over here, and they sent the money. And the guy was in Uzbekistan in a little flat, and you sent him your tokens, and you never heard from him again, or they stopped answering your emails, etc. Bitcoin investment packages or other exclusive clubs or banks that are registered in funny countries. Somebody came to me with a bank that was registered in the Comores Islands. I've been to the Comores. Does anybody know where the Comores are? Apart from Pastor Corey, he knows. Okay. Africa, Madagascar, 4 little islands, the Comores, okay? Cool place. I used to fly there from South Africa when I'd go to Dubai, and we'd stop off there and go diving. But it's not a financial center. So if somebody says, my crypto company is registered in it's a little Islamic island. They've got a hotel and a dive center and huts, okay? It's not Mauritius. It's not, the Seychelles. It's not it's not an offshore. So that is like red flag, dude. I mean, seriously. And then you look at the people as well. So investment banks, at least pick the Cayman Islands if you're going to lie, but then the people can check it out, Multi-level marketing generally within crypto is generally a red flag because of the permissionless. You don't need it, okay? Absence of key information, no white paper, ghost team members I mentioned, no code base. GitHub is the place. So these are generalized, and I'm just telling you so you can protect yourself, because in the church, unfortunately, we do have scammy type projects, and I would. This is a token that is linked, the MRF token. This is that is linked to a project that I know. This is from from CoinGecko. Okay, if you can read that. This is the max logarithmic view of this token. As you can see, 4 days ago, it went to 0. So either somebody pulled a whole lot of money out and then reinflated the thing again, or the system, or it's just so, the trading volume is so low. Market cap, 0. Can you see that over there, market cap? Okay, the market cap, is, I mean, that's ridiculous. You need to know what the market cap of the token is. This thing is it doesn't have a market cap ranking. Those are red flags. Remember, out of the 10,500, I told you the top 300 are really the tokens that I want to buy. Yes?
Just really quickly, what would you say is a good market cap, like numbers-wise?
Go and have a look at, well, if you go and look at CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, go and have a look at the market cap of the top 300 listed, because they're all ranked by market cap. Those are the ones you should be interested in. So it's not really the size of the market cap. It's the fact it doesn't have one. Okay, you should have a market cap here. It's like saying, I want to buy a stock, but I've got no idea how many shares outstanding there are. I've got no idea, this thing's PE. I can't do any, but it sounds like a good thing, so I'm going to put my money into it. No, you don't do that. You're going to lose your money. You might as well, burn it. Yes. All right, so that's just, all right, and this is another one, Drip, and I hope nobody here is into Drip, but somebody sent this to me and said, check out Drip. So this was from their white paper. The best strategy for Drip is to focus on real-world adoption, okay, by building out your team through direct referrals. What? And you will receive bonus rewards from referrals on their deposits. And in other words, it's a Ponzi scheme. They're taking membership from the new people who are joining to pay the old people who are in there, and your buddy system referrals. And then down the bottom here, there is also an airdrop feature, which is a great way to ensure your account is in positive net deposit value standing. Give back to your team. So in other words, I've got to tell people, look how well we're doing. I'm going to give you some. I'm going to bribe you to stay in the system. Sorry, this is crud. All right. I'm being polite. Okay, let's talk about DeFi. Okay, DeFi stands for decentralized finance. Decentralized finance. So the financial world, banks, stock exchanges, etc., have a whole lot of financial instruments that they use to make money for themselves and their shareholders. In the crypto world, a lot of that has been replaced by smart contracts, which is essentially self-executable code upon a certain condition being met. And you can invest directly with a DeFi protocol. And so I hope this, if you go listen to the video again, it'll make sense, to make money. This is a slightly more advanced, it's more technically advanced, but DeFi is a great way to make a steady stream of income. Personally, I think that you can generate yield on your crypto assets, okay? So just as you take money and you used to put in, do you remember years ago you could put money on a savings account, you could actually make money? Okay, and now, of course, you put money and you just lose it because we're being taxed 2% or whatever. The Fed decides let's go up, whatever the inflation rates. And now, of course, because inflation essentially is a tax on your money. You're losing that much purchasing power every year. So with DeFi, you can make a real return on your crypto assets by putting them in a crypto exchange. There's different ways. So there's basically four different ways to do DeFi, and I'm going to drill down to them. There's staking. Anybody here doing staking? Okay, so staking is essentially, it's like a crypto savings account. You're loaning your money to the exchange, and they're using it to make money with, they're lending it out, etc. You can lend, you can provide liquidity to liquidity pools, and you can yield farm. And if those sound weird, don't worry, we're going to drill into them a little bit. And they are more technical, and you've got to learn new jargon and new technology. But if you take this and go and study it out and read a book, go and watch 10 videos, you will, as you'll see, make a lot more money than just putting that money in the bank and losing it. Okay, so to show you how real this is, I had somebody once say to me, just recently, well, how do we know Bitcoin and crypto is real? Because it's an asset class, the only new asset class in the last 150 years, the fastest growing asset class in history, and there's nearly $3 trillion into it at the moment, and there's going to be a lot more coming in very shortly. So there's a website here called Defy Llama. Cool name, eh? Defy Llama. And Defy Llama shows you the amount of money that is locked in the chains, the TVL, which is the measurement of DeFi. And there's 300, as when I took this screenshot yesterday, $322 billion value locked in these DeFi chains. When I say value locked, that's money that's deposited into exchanges and DeFi platforms. And down the bottom here, and you see, the growth there, literally, DeFi only came out as a category in 2020. And you'll see it was pretty flat line. But this last year, massive growth because big funds, hedge funds and VCs have said, wow, we can invest a little bit of money into this thing and get real returns here for our investors that are way higher than what we're going to get in the stock market. Is there risk? Yes, there's always risk and reward, but this is real. Okay, down the bottom here, I have the different chains: Ethereum, Binance, Terra, Avalanche, Solana, Phantom, Tron, Polygon, etc. Those are the largest ones. And if you go to DeFi Llama and you're interested, you can click on them and it'll show you the different projects, etc. So DeFi is still in its infancy. It's kind of complicated, and there is a learning curve. But if you are serious and you trade and you want, I would suggest you figure out there's new tokens, new jargon, new technology, and there's new risks. In the future, a lot of these platforms and processes will improve, but by then, the rewards, the returns will probably go down. When it's easy and everybody can do it, then all the money flows in there, and you're not going to make 50% APR, or 60%, or 70%, or 80%. Okay, you're going to make 6 or 7 or 8%. But at the moment, the returns are high, and I'm going to show you that. And again, this is not for everybody, but it's interesting. So the most simple thing I just want to start off with is staking. Now, staking is taking, and this is, excuse the image, this is not accurate. I didn't have time to get a new image here. I took this one months ago. But basically, on the left-hand side, there's Argent and Coinbase and BlockFi and Celsius, etc., and Robinhood down the bottom there. Those are centralized exchanges, and they will pay you like a crypto savings account. If you put in at the top, these are all stable coins. So the second one here is USDC, which is the largest stable coin. And you see there, Coinbase are only giving you 1.25%, even though they're heavily invested. Nexar 8%, BlockFi 8%. In fact, at the moment, it's 9%. So if you get your money and you put it into a stable coin is essentially linked to a dollar or dollar-based assets. And so you go into Coinbase or Kraken or FTX or whichever exchange you happen to be on, or Robinhood. Don't advise that, but never mind. And then you purchase some USDC. And then you transfer it. You go to BlockFi. And in fact, on my website last time, I put a link. It is a friend's link, okay? So if you use my link, I get like $10 of crypto. You get $10 of crypto, so use it or don't. But if you go to BlockFi and you set up an account, and then you transfer your USDC or your Tether or DAI into your BlockFi account, you're going to earn 9%. Okay? Who would rather have 9% in their bank account rather than 0.5%? Yeah, so do that. You want to have some savings. And inflation, who knows what inflation is? 5, 6, 7. Are you the banking lady? Okay. No, okay, I thought you were a banking lady. I thought somebody who was from a bank, what's the inflation rate? Who knows, okay? We're losing money sitting in the bank. So you might as well put it stake it in a crypto savings account. At least you're not losing money, and you're making a little bit of money, okay? So this is the most basic, simple, easy thing to do. when you move a token from Coinbase or Kraken into something like BlockFi, and I prefer BlockFi to all the others, just go and watch a YouTube video on how to do it. Seriously, how do I move, and it'll show you. Just go and copy and paste, and don't try and type out, your address. It's a rather long address, so you just copy and paste it and put it in the right field and move the money. Okay, so that's staking. Then after staking, I want to talk a little bit about DeFi yield farms. So DeFi yield farming is what I think is a great opportunity if, for a little bit of your money, you can make it's a venture where you invest, essentially you stake on a platform, and you provide liquidity to a platform so it doesn't have to have its own liquidity. And because you're providing liquidity so it can trade tokens, exchange tokens, it doesn't have to carry it itself, these automatic market makers, they will actually give you a percentage of the fees they make. And the fees can run quite high. Let me just give you an example here. This is Radium is on the Solana blockchain, and you have to put money in pairs. So Radium and USDT at the moment is giving the APR, not APY. This is without compound interest, just a pure APR is 66.96%, okay? The total value locked is $77 million in that. This is Radium are the largest on the Solana chain. And you can see USDC is 62%, etc. So this is real money. This is a real percentage. You're getting paid rewards in Radium, which is it's probably in the top 100 tokens, and you can always change that back to ETH, or change it back to Bitcoin, or change it back to USDC, etc., or just let it compound, okay? So this is a real thing that you can do. And so if it goes over your head, don't worry, you will pick it up. It went over my head the first 10 times probably, okay? So I'll be totally honest with you. Here's another one, Spooky Swap. This on Phantom. You see the 185, 175, 143% APR returns. These are real returns. I have a friend, I'm on Spooky Swap, but I have a different, I do a different pairing, not quite. So some of the issue with some of these high return ones, Phantom OOE pair, I don't know what OOE is, so I'd have to take it and drop it into coin market cap and see, is this a token I really want to mess with? Often they're like dubious tokens. But if you go down, you get to the ones that link. For instance, this one here, Radium to USDC, providing liquidity for that pair for 66%. Radium's a good token. I don't mind holding Radium, okay? USDC is Tether, okay? That's a good token. You can actually convert those both to Bitcoin. I can convert them back into cash, put in my bank account. So those are good tokens. A 66% return in Radium. Are you kidding me? Who would like to earn 66% on their money? Okay. Not dubious, not scammy, real. Okay. Here's another one, Trader Joe. This on Avalanche. Okay. I'm not into this myself, but I am into using the previous two DeFis. So you can see here on Joe, with Joe's a token. This is Trader Joe's, not the one that sells you food. This is the crypto one. And if you stake, they're paying 20% purely on buying their token and staking it on their pool here. And you say, well, how can they be paying so much? Okay, you are earning fees. You are helping them to do business. Okay, so you're earning a percentage and you're earning fees on them. This is the money that normally the exchanges will be making, and in the centralized world, this is what the banks make, okay? The banks hate DeFi. That's a good thing, okay? Big banks are not your friend. Sorry if you work for Wells Fargo. Okay. So, the whole crypto revolution was started because the crypto guys wanted to build a better financial system, because they saw the mess that was created by the fools on Wall Street in 2008, and the greed and the corruption. Big banks are not your friend, just as much as big pharma and big media and big tech are not your friend, okay? They don't care about you. They don't care about me, you and me. So crypto is scaring the bejeebers out of them, because it's giving us a way to actually make money and have an alternate finance system that anybody can join. It's permissionless and decentralized, and they can't close it down. People said, "What what happens if they close us down?" You can't close Bitcoin down. You can try and ban it, but you can't close it down. It's who are you going to call? There's no Bitcoin headquarters. Who runs Bitcoin? Who runs Ethereum? There are foundations, non-profit foundations that run a lot of these chains, but a lot of them, you can't close them down. They're decentralized. They run on thousands of computers around the world. As long as you can get to the internet and you've got your address, your wallet, you've essentially got your tokens. So it's a genius. I believe the Antichrist system, I believe the devil had a fit when crypto came out. It's like, what is this? Because I can't control it. Okay, if you think I'm crazy, that's all right. You're welcome to be wrong. So the returns here are very real. So these are things I just wanted to show you because as Pastor Corey said, God gives us the power to get wealth, but we have to learn, we have to educate ourselves. So learn about DeFi, and you can invest in this and make 82% per annum, literally, as without trading. I'm not trading. This is not that risky. So the only risk here is that these tokens, they do, okay, so let me tell you some of the risks with DeFi, because you might say, gee, this is wonderful, John. I'm going to go out and take all my life savings and put in DeFi, make 50, 60, 70, 80%. Okay, whoa, hold on first. Number one, some of these can get hacked, okay? So spread it around, be careful, don't put your life savings in here. I don't want your attorney to phone me, okay? I'm warning you now. So there have been hacks. So these are open source protocols, and generally they're pretty safe, but some of them are not. Secondly, there are things called a rug pull. Do you have you heard of a rug pull? Okay, it's when the rug is pulled out from underneath you. Mark Cuban got caught in a DeFi rug pull recently. He put his money in, and they loaded it all up, and the guys who were running it were offering some big returns, and they got a couple of million, and they pulled the rug, and they disappeared with all the money, okay? That happens. So that's why I'd only ever go, if you go to DeFi Llama and you decide you want to get into DeFi, go to a chain like Solana, and the one I showed you, Radium, this is the largest one on Solana, that's why I'm in it. SpookySwap is the largest on Phantom, that's why I'm in it, and Joe is one of the largest on Avalanche, that's why I'm in it, okay? So, and these are all lower fees and faster than Ethereum. How are we doing for time? A couple more minutes, all right. Okay, they're also volatile, price can go up and down. So I think I'm nearly, hey, look at that, questions. I hope that, and I know that it was super quick, and I hope that, do you mind if I just, can I do some selfish promotion?
Go ahead.
Okay, all right. I'm writing a book, Crypto to the Future. Remember Back to the Future, the movie, okay? If anybody's sort of interested, looking at the next 5 years, where's crypto going to go? If you're interested, or you'd like those links, there's my email list, say John Book, I'm interested or not. And if you want any of those links, they are on my ministry website. I haven't moved them yet. You can go ahead and have a look. Quite a few of them are up there. All right, super. I hope that was interesting. I know it was a little bit in-depth in some of the stuff. If you've got any questions.
Well, look, I mean, obviously this is a crash course.
Yes.
And we're just trying to stir you up, just like everything. You have to go do your homework.
Yes.
You have to go. You have to go educate yourself. I mean, instead of watching a 3-hour movie, go spend 3 hours learning finance. I mean, don't waste time, invest time. That's unfortunately the case with a lot of people. I talk to people all the time. They really want to do well. They want to succeed, and then they don't put in the time.
Yeah.
I mean, different businesses I've been involved in, they're great vehicles, great opportunities. People show up to 1 or 2 meetings and you never see them again. Or they'll spend 1 or 2 hours trying to, you're trying to get them, do an onboarding with them, and they don't even want to do an hour of onboarding. So how can you succeed if you have never really put in the work? I mean, there is no magic dust here. There's no magic wand. It's all, again, you're going to have to put in the work. What is the work? The work is education. The work is getting there, learning, understanding. Things are changing. Times are changing. We are in we're in a very dynamic time. Who remembers Blockbuster? Okay, where's Blockbuster now? Busted. Yeah. Okay? I mean, because nobody rents VHS or DVDs anymore. Okay, so we are in a time of change. And you need to understand, those who are not willing to change, what is revival? Not a touch, but a change. We are in a time of financial revival. Really is. Decentralized finance. And you need to learn. You need to educate. You need to, you just saw it. Defy started basically a year ago. Or 2 years ago. I mean, you know, a year and a half. And really in the last year is when it's taking off. And so, you know, you really, you know, need to go and learn and understand these things. Obviously, if you have a passion for it, if you have a desire for it, that's where it's going to come down to getting educated and study. Study to show yourself approved unto God, right? So put in the work, put in the study, and if you're not interested, that's fine. I mean, this is for the people that really want to do something with it, and that's why we offer these types of teachings and classes at Kingdom Business Fellowship, to stir you up. But I do want to challenge you. There's a phenomenal opportunity here because we're talking about decentralization, the largest asset, you know, in the last 150 years, asset creation. And that's why if you go to mainstream media and you listen to the mainstream politicians and the main big tech, they're constantly trying to discredit and attack decentralized finance and put fear in the people to keep people away from it because it's a threat to their establishment. It's a threat to their monopoly and control. 100%. That's why Jesus stepped in and overturned the money changers' tables. They had a monopoly. They had set up shop in the temple, the most central place you can ever get in Israel. There is no more centralization than the temple, where it was the hub of activity, hub of life, if you think about it, in Israel. And they had set up shop there, working together with the Pharisees and the Sadducees and, you know, the lawmakers and the scribes, basically, you know, the politicians. Pharisees were not just religious leaders, they were also political leaders. So they were working together. And so they had set up shop. It was a centralized control, monopoly, and they controlled the money flow, they controlled the money exchange. That's what those tables represented, the exchange. So Jesus came in and overthrew it. And so there is an overthrow taking place. And let's get in on it. You've got to understand what's going on. And so, you know, obviously this is new to a lot of us, even to me, because a lot of it is very new.
Yeah, it's new to everybody.
Just happening, right? And so let's get in on it, all right? And let's understand it. And all right, we're going to take some questions. So if you have questions that are written, I'm not taking hands, I'm taking papers just to save time. Let's collect all the papers because we're going to read through them. Otherwise, if we start having hands raised and go through with the microphone, we'll never get to it. It just takes too long. I've learned that it's easier to just look through them. So let's collect the questions that you have, and I'm going to have Brother John look through them and address like 2 or 3 key ones that would be beneficial. All right? And then afterwards, you can come talk to him when we're, you know, off camera. But, you know, we're going to go about another 5 or 10 minutes, and we're going to finish up tonight. Okay?
All right. So let me just, I'm going to try and get through as many as possible. And if I can't get your question, you know, apologies, but there's a few here. All right. So is Robinhood investment app program trustworthy? Yes. They're a large company. Yes, you can buy in Robinhood. Would I buy crypto in Robinhood? Probably not, or on PayPal, because you're paying too high. Go to Coinbase and then open an account and then go to Coinbase pro.coinbase. It's the same username login. It's just you buy at a cheaper price and the fees are less. Or go to Kraken. Kraken's another one. Or FTX or Gemini. They're all good, etc. But, you know, those are real centralized exchanges. And then one of the problems you are going to face is, and I had somebody contact me over the weekend. I spoke about a token, and this guy's a doctor, and he contacted me and said, hey, where do I buy this token? It's not on Coinbase. I said, yeah, you know, you have to go to another one called KuCoin, which is on my website, and I recommend it, because Coinbase only lists about, and I can't remember the exact number, but say 150 tokens. Remember, there's 10,500 or 11,000 or something. So if a new one comes up and it looks like it's good, it often won't be on Coinbase. You've got to go to another one. If you go to Robinhood, they've only got a few tokens you can get there. So, but it's probably good. You know, if you want to buy Bitcoin and dollar cost average into it a little bit every month, you will make money. Okay, how do you convert crypto into real money? Okay, Okay, that's the wrong question. Okay.
How do you need a paradigm shift? What is real money?
Yeah, what is real money?
Federal Reserve note?
Yeah, that fiat money created out of thin air, that little printed paper. But I know what you mean, okay, because you can't go to the gas station always and say, hey, can I pay you with a Bitcoin? Some of them don't accept it. So you have what's called a fiat on-ramp or an off-ramp. So if you go to most of the large exchanges that I've mentioned, like Coinbase and Kraken and Gemini, etc., and if I've missed your favorite exchange, I do apologize, or El Toro, etc. Some of them you can put dollars in and get dollars out. You can sell a token and get it out. Others you have to convert it. So I mentioned KuCoin recently. So KuCoin. If you've got a token there and you want to sell it, you can't get your dollars out of there, your real money. So you then convert it into a stable coin. That's where stable coins come in, USDC or Tether or DAI or something. And then you can move that to the exchange that has the fiat on and off ramp, and then you convert it into dollars, put it back in your bank account. A little bit complicated, but we're still early days. And as it gets easier, as the technology improves,
and we're probably going to get to the point where you'll be able to actually directly buy with crypto now.
Oh yes, yeah.
I mean,
and
El Salvador is now
sure.
El Salvador has become a country now, the first country that where you can Bitcoin's an actual legal tender.
Okay. Somebody has asked acronyms, NFTs, non-fungible tokens. In other words, do you remember those baseball cards? We used to have a collectible. So this is a digital version of that. It's authenticated, single, version. Or people can create a piece of art, an overpriced JPEG, basically, but a piece of art in the digital world that they can assign copyright to. So if that's ever sold on and on or used somewhere, then the original owner can receive some royalties, etc. So those are what NFTs are, and NFTs are huge. There's like Defy took off, and then NFTs are growing up, and now we're going to have NFTs you'll be able to stake into DeFi, and that's like bleeding edge, etc. All right, ETF is exchange traded fund. It's like a mutual fund. Okay, you can buy them on E-Trade, and IPO is when you go on the initial placement offering, I think.
Placement offering.
Yeah. When you take your company public and you have a private, you sell your securities to the public as opposed to just, your initial investors. Okay.
And VC may be one that people did not, venture capitalists.
Venture capitalists, yes.
VC was mentioned a lot. So those are people that invest, investors.
We like to call them vulture capitalists. Sorry, I hope they're not watching. Okay, what's the number thing to avoid or be aware of with crypto? Don't lose any money. Okay, what's the number one thing to remember? Don't get scammed. Sorry, I think that's what you were asking. How do you foresee the FCC trying to affect crypto? Is that the Federal Communication? What's the FCC?
You mean SEC?
You mean the SEC?
Securities and Exchange Commission?
Okay, so Gary Gensler, who runs the SEC, I've got to say nice things because this has been recorded. He's an ex-Goldman Sachs guy.
Brood of vipers, maybe?
Yeah.
Biblical term.
Yeah. Okay. Brood of viper. So basically, they want to regulate crypto and stable coins, and they're doing their best to listen to the more radical Elizabeth Warren type and their buddies at the International Bank of Settlements, to put a lid on this crypto thing because they don't understand. But fortunately, there's a lot of small government type politicians in government. We've got a lot of allies that realize, hey, this is, do you really want to be the politician that shuts down the next innovation, for the world? And do you want to turn America into Venezuela? What are you, crazy? So all of a sudden they realize that, no. So the SEC, they are trying to claim that cryptos are securities, that they're stocks. They're not. They're treated as property by the IRS. And you do have to pay gains on them. But the SEC they're not going to, half of Congress own crypto. Okay, all the big funds, all the wealthiest investors in the world, the pension funds are piling into crypto. And as they pile in, it's like in this
Yeah.
ocean trying to fit into a little bucket.
They can't shut it down. What they will do is they will obviously, they want to create
Regulation.
the
yeah.
regulated digital
And they want the tax.
centralized currency.
Yeah.
And eventually there'll be a global one that'll be tied to the mark of the beast. But we're not there yet. You know that. But we are in a very innovative time. I believe this is going to, and we are also in a time where things are accelerating. So that's why you...
I've got a really interesting one here.
Not to put pressure or anything, but
Yeah.
you do need to act quickly.
Yeah. This is a really interesting. Somebody asked me, and I'm not going to ask you to, is can undocumented people invest in crypto without a social security? 100% yes. Okay. You don't need anybody's permission to invest in crypto. You don't need any documentation to invest in crypto. You can be in any country in the world and you can invest in crypto. That's the cool thing. It was designed to get around all the regulations, which is why, the Antichrist spirit and big governments hate it and fear it and will try and control it, but will not be able to because they will lose in the end. So yes, and one of the reasons that El Salvador went and established Bitcoin as legal tender in the country was because of the remittances. Instead of people sending money back with Western Union and paying huge, massive fees, now they can send it back and they're paying, peanuts. And so there's lots of other countries around the world saying we want to do the same thing. And of course you've got the IMF who are controlled by the same cabal who control the World Bank and most of the big banks and the Fed, which is a private bank, central banks, etc. They are fighting tooth and nail and expect them to see in their sort of their sycophants in the media. They will be out there, creating a lot of false, crypto's evil, it's bad for the environment, and criminals use all that kind of nonsense, etc. But so I'm digressing from your question. Yes, whoever asked that, yes, absolutely. Invest, go buy. You don't need anyone's permission. And the last one was something about the metaverse, but I'm
Impressions of the metaverse?
Oh,
impressions?
Thank you.
Oh, of the metaverse?
Impressions of the... Well, I assume whoever asked that, the metaverse is a... Okay, if you saw Ready Player One, the movie, that was kind of, that's what they want you to think. So the metaverse is they're going to be... First of all, it's going to be multiple metaverses. They're going to be multiple virtual reality spaces that people will play in and live in and meet in. Nike just invested in a company that creates sneakers so people in the metaverse can wear Nike sneakers. So you're going to see big money, follow the money. It's going to go into those projects. And some people say, well, it's slightly different. What's the type between the metaverse and crypto? Well, a lot of the metaverse, essentially, they're crypto tokens, and you will have money that people, this is where we're going. I listened to a really interesting interview the other day, these guys, and they're creating crypto that you will use as an in-game in the metaverse, but unlike other multiplayer games where people buy, armor or guns or castles or whatever you happen to buy in your game, and you can't use it in the real world, you'll be able to transfer it into other games and you'll be able to transfer it out. So it'll be like the metaverse equivalent of Bitcoin that you can use in your game and to, buy your burger and to follow in the real world. So that's the whole point. So we're getting to, there's going to be this blur, and some companies will crash and burn, others will be successful. But most of the big game companies, so metaverse will be huge. What it will look like, I don't know, but there will be, and already there's some, on the top 100, there's multiple. I'll be very honest, I haven't done a lot in NFTs because I believe 90% of them are going to crash and burn and be worth nothing. But you can make money. But metaverse and NFT tokens, that's supplying, the infrastructure. Yes, some of those who do well. So I hope that answers the question.
Thank you.
No problem.
Are we good?
You good?
Was it all the questions?
Yeah. Yes, Rick.
When you talk about DeFi and you see returns like 60%,
Mm-hmm.
is that on an annual basis or a shorter period?
No, that was APR. That was an annual percentage return, and that was without reinvesting any of the earnings back in again. If you have APY, it will be even higher.
The question, of course, was not recorded, but the returns, like 60% in the DeFi, is that annual? Yes.
Yes, it's annual return.
APR, annual percentage returns. All right.
Yeah. And those fluctuate, by the way. So they can go higher and they can go lower, depending on the demand.
We'll take one more question. Okay, we have
you
two
have
hands.
to say this,
all right,
yes.
You're going to need to speak into the mic, so take the mic. The two hands, and that's it. After that, you can do private question. Speak privately. Or
If you take gains out of, say, a Coinbase, what are you taxed? What rate are you taxed at? Is it capital gains tax or?
It's exactly the same as gains on short-term or long-term on stocks at the moment. Same percentage.
And then there was a question right there with the gentleman with the...
So you want to hold them for longer than a year. Long-term is probably better.
Do you have to claim it? Basically the same question he asked, but you have to claim it as on your income tax at the end of the year?
Yes. So there's most centralized exchanges will give you a return of your profits. So you can put that in onto your income tax return as you would any income you earn. So just if you've got money in the bank and you get interest, you make profits on your trading platform, exactly the same with crypto. The problem is, this is not tax advice or legal advice. Very clear, okay. All right. If you've got money on a foreign exchange that doesn't give you and you've done a lot of trading or you've made a lot of profits, first of all, decentralized exchange is not going to give you anything. You've got to have to figure it out yourself. How you report that is up to you and God, and the tax man. Secondly, I would suggest you pay your taxes, okay? And they are tracking a lot more. But there's some people that say, I bought the sets a long time and I've had it and it's on the. It's really difficult to try and figure it out. And on some of the DeFi platforms, so there's some good tax tracking, crypto tracking software, and I've linked on my website there. That we seem to have lost the link here. So if you just go to my ministry site there on that crypto, there is actually a tax. Crypto tax package there that works pretty well, and you link it to all your wallets and exchanges, and it'll tell you what your taxable liability is, and if you want to do some tax loss harvesting. Yes, and
I just want to add that a good vehicle to...
Hold on a second. Wait for the microphone, please.
Sorry. One vehicle to invest in cryptocurrency with is a Roth IRA, but you have to set up an LLC that's owned by the Roth. But then you don't have to worry about the tax reporting.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can put crypto, as you can with any asset, into an IRA, a self-directed IRA, or into a Roth IRA if you've set up the legal structure to do that. And there's a lot of attorneys and people who will help you do that, and companies, etc. Absolutely. But if you haven't and it's in your personal name, then you have to report it. Yes.